Okay, just a few things here before I let you go. The case out in St. Louis, Michael, is it Michael Brown? Mike Brown. Give me your commentary on that whole situation that went down not so long ago.
Well, again, I'm not there. I haven't seen the evidence. I'm very disturbed by what I've heard. Something just seems off. There just doesn't seem to be, I don't know, I don't sense the police are acting with great integrity. It seems like a stacked deck to have this police chief, take it to a grand jury. We don't know who those grand jurors are. Remember, in a grand jury proceeding, there's no judge and there's no defense attorney. The prosecutors call whatever witnesses they want. They ask them whatever they want. It's a very one-sided affair. And something tells me that they're not going to want this police officer charged. I know what I've seen on television, and I'm very disturbed by the fact that this young man was shot to death by a police officer based on what I've seen and based on what so many witnesses have said, including some witnesses from outside the community who made some very, very disturbing comments about what they saw the police officer do. So police officers have a tough job. They put their lives in their hands when they walk out the door every day. You can't minimize, the dangers they face and the fact that they don't react quickly. Sometimes they can lose their life or their colleagues can lose their life. By the same token, they can't act recklessly and abuse their power and their authority and abuse the weaponry that they have. And it seems to me that just something doesn't smell right about this shooting. That's all I can tell you.
Now, I was telling you about that documentary that I saw, and I think you said that in some cases, the poor black people will get charged quicker than a rich white guy. Is that accurate?
It is. We are a society where people are constantly trying to devalue somebody else. Or we live in a society where people are constantly trying to, look down on somebody. They want to think they're better than somebody. And there's discrimination between races. There's discrimination within race, okay? Discrimination, between economic groups. There's discrimination within economic groups. And one of the great things about human beings is that they have the capability to rise above this problem. But I believe that a low-income person of color has a much better chance of being charged in America than a white person who's affluent. I totally believe that. Young black and brown children are killed, in Los Angeles, in some of the poorer neighborhoods, some of the gang-infested neighborhoods. They don't get headlines. If a rich white kid in Beverly Hills gets killed, it'll be a major story, And that goes on to this day. We devalue others because of their skin color and because of their economic status, and that's wrong. So the likelihood of escaping prosecution increases, in my opinion, with affluence and with white skin color. I do believe that.
Okay, I do want to play one last clip and then I'll let you go. This is courtesy of Luna Joe, testimony of Gavin Arvizio, day 3 and 4. Just listen to a couple minutes and then I want to get your take on the other side.
Today, the defense is expected to finish questioning Jackson's young accuser. This after the teen dropped a bombshell Monday, admitting he told a school official that Jackson never touched him. CBS News correspondent Vince Gonzalez reports.
With fans cheering in falsetto, Michael Jackson, who was almost thrown in jail last week, arrived early Monday for his trial on molestation charges. In court, the singer showed no emotion as his young accuser admitted he twice told a dean at his old middle school, Jeffrey Alpert, that Jackson never touched him. The teen said, quote, "I told him that Michael didn't do anything to me." This investigation has been going on for more than 2 years, but the prosecution reportedly first interviewed Alpert only on Saturday, nearly 2 weeks into the trial.
Nothing good came of this day for prosecutors, not a single thing.
Defense attorney Tom Mesereau also went through the boy's school records, pointing to a series of teachers who called him disruptive, defiant, and strong-willed. One teacher even wrote he had good acting skills.
He does not come off as a victim. He comes off as someone who is much more likely to victimize someone else. Everyone knew this was crucial, and the crucial witness comes off very well for the defense and not so well for prosecutors.
The teen also made some inconsistent statements, but then so have people in the Jackson camp. Last week, when the singer was a no-show in court, one of his lawyers blamed a fall.
He tripped this morning and he fell in the early morning hours while he was getting dressed. His back is in terrible pain.
On Monday, Jackson's spokeswoman seemed to blame a bad mattress.
That morning when he awakened, he couldn't even walk or move his back.
But as he left court, Jackson seemed better and pleased.
Mesereau did a great job.
Vince Gonzalez, CBS News, Santa Maria, California.
Okay, Tom, does that bring back any memories? And if so, can you share it about Gavin not saying he wasn't with the school official, etc. And the video, of course, was courtesy of Luna Joe, 67.
Well, again, Luna Joe does a fabulous job documenting and memorializing, these important, historical chapters in the life of Michael Jackson. But it does bring back some interesting memories, because I remember cross-examining Gavin Arvizo, and criminal offense lawyers are taught to be very gentle with children. The feeling is that if you're too harsh or too aggressive, that you'll look like a bully. And I had never spoken to him, before he got on the stand. And my intuition when I saw him was, this is not a child. This is a brat. This is, someone who's thrilled to be here, happy to get all this attention, and who I don't think is telling the truth. So I went after him with hammer and tongs. And, this gentle sort of nice kid that the prosecutor tried to portray changed his mannerisms tremendously. His demeanor changed, his attitude changed, and he got feisty, and I thought his true colors came out. Unfortunately, the jury never believed him.
Yeah, and this idea that he told the school and then the time, there was different time things, a lot of people, they just hear the verdict and they hear what they want to hear. And, when you actually hear some things that Luna Joe documents, there is another side to the story. So I thought that was very important, that came out and that people can hear that.
Yes, as I recall, that teacher tried to contact me not long before the trial to let me know what had happened, as I recall. Or else he had someone else call me. But we disclosed that witness fairly close to the trial, so we're calling him. And, of course, what happened, a lot of people don't know this, but in my opinion, the prosecution was trying to intimidate witnesses, so they wouldn't help the defense. They would send a bunch of sheriffs to interview people. They would be intimidating. They would be, it was a tactic that really upset me. And they would send the Santa Barbara County sheriffs into Los Angeles County, and I think they were very, this is just my opinion, they'll probably give you a different explanation, but I think they were trying to scare people away from helping Michael Jackson. That's why they charged him with conspiracy, in my opinion. If you think about it, he was the only, so-called conspirator in the conspiracy that was charged. How can you have a conspiracy and you only charge one person? Everyone else they called an unindicted co-conspirator, which forced them to get lawyers. Any good lawyer is going to tell, your client, don't talk, because if you come forward and testify, or if you talk, you may get charged. So they wanted these people to hire lawyers. They wanted them to not cooperate with the defense. They didn't want them to testify. They wanted to scare people away. To me, that was one of their main purposes with the conspiracy charge, which was completely bogus, like everything else.
No question. A Twitter comment just came in from Jay. It says, is it true that you were going to call Gavin, the mother, back for the surrogate rebuttal once you found out that the prosecution was going to had the opportunity to play the 15-minute interview of Gavin Arvizo?
That's an interesting question, because you're bringing back old memories again. We informed the prosecution that we were going to recall them, and the prosecution, I'm told, spent all night with them trying to prepare them for, being recalled as witnesses. And then I got up and said, we're not going to call them, and I saw Snedden just look pale as a ghost, because I think they had spent all night preparing them, thinking that they were going to, be able to get up and repair some of the damage that was caused when they were cross-examined the first time they testified. And when I said, no further witnesses, just Snedden looked like somebody had run over him, like a truck.
Yeah, absolutely. So I got one last one. Chad from Twitter writes, the prosecution promised that they would call somebody from Neverland that was a security guard, I think Chris Carter, and he was supposed to be a, quote, explosive witness to the prosecution, and they never called him. Is that true?
That's true. Carter, I think, was in, I can't remember exactly the situation, but I think Carter may have been arrested at that point, may have been in jail somewhere, may have been Arizona or somewhere, or Las Vegas. I just can't remember. But I was told that he was not going to cooperate with them.
Okay, and this is definitely the last one from Twitter. They want to know, Tom, we've heard so many different things about the 93 case. Did it match? Did it not match? What is your understanding in terms of, did Jordan Chandler's description match up with Michael Jackson?
It did not. Again, I wasn't in the case at that point. I learned all this, in the 2004-2005 case. But the information that I saw said that he had, he made a comment about whether or not Michael Jackson was circumcised, and it turned out to be completely wrong.
Oh, okay. Because some people had it that it was true. Some people like Diamond, and people like that said yes, it was an accurate description. Lisa Bloom said it was. We actually watched the video. Lisa says, quote, they should have introduced evidence that the boy accurately described Michael Jackson. But you're saying it's not true, from what you understand.
It's not true. It's not true. He did not accurately describe Michael Jackson. Michael had spent time at that home. The family invited him over, and maybe he was seen dressing or showering. I don't know. They tried to convert this into some type of molestation story, which was, in my opinion, utter nonsense. But the description was not accurate.
Well, Tom, to have you and Joey Jackson, two icons, on my Season 3 show was just an honor. I thank you so much. I did ask you earlier, I want to give out two free autographs from you. For the person that emailed me at kingjordan2k9@AOL.com. And Tom, you've agreed that you will mail it. I'll give you the address, or you'll mail it to me or something like that.
Yes, I'd be happy to. Be honored to. And thank you for having me on your show. You always do a great service to the Michael Jackson community, the Michael Jackson fans. You do your homework, and you dig into issues in a much more in-depth way than most people do. And I think you're a great credit to all of us. And I hope you do great in your show and your career. And it's an honor to be invited on your show. Thank you.
Well, thank you. It was great having you and Joey. It was just a radio holiday, if you will.
Well, thanks
I will speak to you soon.
Real good. Thank you.
Okay, Tom. Okay. That was the legendary defense attorney, Tom Mesereau. For the first time ever, please email me with the word saying first time ever, and then email that to kingjordan2k9@AOL.com. The first two people with their names and addresses, I will mail out a copy of that too. Also, I want to give out some plugs here. MJUpbeat.com. Check that out. That is an awesome website. Of course, in association with, she does all my great videos. She just did an awesome video. What did happen to Michael Jackson after the trial? You need to go check that out. I'm talking about Luna Joe 67. Check out her. There's a lot of good stuff. Also, Joey Jackson, wow. It really was awesome to have both of them on. And most importantly, I want to thank you, the fans, for sticking by with me